I think that the biggest hesitation is that hiring is hard, right? It is really hard to go through that hiring process. And a lot of business owners, doesn't matter what role they're thinking of hiring, will be thinking that, oh, I don't know how to hire, or I don't know where to find good candidates, or like no one can do this as well as me, right? I can't delegate this. It has to be me that does it. And that said, every business owner under the sun thinks that for a little while at least, and some think about it for a long while.
Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Tejada, host of the Master Delegator Podcast. The Master Delegator Podcast is for busy and overwhelmed entrepreneurs who want to learn how to become effective in the area of delegation and learn how to hire great virtual assistants to help them scale their business and have more time and freedom. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing and don't forget to click the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. Alright, let's get started. Hey guys, this is Tejada for another episode of the Master Delegator Podcast, and today I'm super excited because I get to interview Noel Andrews, CEO of JobRack. JobRack is an online job platform connecting top businesses with great remote talent from Eastern Europe. And today we are gonna talk all things about remote workers, specifically virtual assistants. Welcome, Noel. I'm so glad that you are here, and thanks for being here.
Hey, no worries, Christy. Really good to be here.
Yeah, this is I think this is gonna be one of my favorite episodes because, like what I told you, just a few minutes ago, that we share the same mission in life, which is helping business owners scale their businesses by hiring remote workers and also helping people with great talent, from other countries by giving them job opportunities. So I really want to learn more about you and what is it that you do. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about, who you are and what exactly you do?
Yeah, sure, no worries. So I'm Noel Andrews, and CEO and owner of JobRack, and I'm based in London. I've got a bit of a kind of an addiction to rooftop bars. So when I'm not working, that's where you'll find me kind of relaxing and hanging out. And London's got a good selection of those, which is good. And kind of about me a little bit. Well, I have worked in the corporate world for kind of many years until quite recently, and with a lot of kind of leading and kind of developing and growing large teams. And with a good kind of entrepreneurial streak, inspired by Tim Ferriss and the 4-hour work week, like so many entrepreneurs, kind of jumped into this world, quite a few years ago now. And one of the things that, like, my discovery, if you like, was around, what makes a business successful without the business owner working 80 or 100 hours a week is a really great team, right? And a really great team at all levels. And that's kind of my mission now. My mission is to help business owners, and I'm looking to try and help 500 business owners this year to kind of grow their business and free their time, right? And that's the key thing. There's too many business owners working 80, 100 hours a week that they're kind of living to work as opposed to working to live. So that's the big push, really helping people grow their businesses and kind of get the life that they want. It's kind of a bit cliche, but yeah, that's what we do.
Nice. That is really awesome. And I'm pretty sure you understand, what your clients are going through, their hesitations when it comes to hiring remote workers, because you are a business owner as well. And I'm sure that you've hired remote workers first before you recommend other people to hire remote workers, right? Because it's kind of weird to tell somebody to do something without doing it first. So what do you think is the first or the most common hesitations of business owners when it comes to employing virtual workers?
I think that the biggest hesitation is that hiring is hard, right? It is really hard to go through that hiring process. And a lot of business owners, doesn't matter what role they're thinking of hiring, will be thinking that, oh, I don't know how to hire, or I don't know where to find good candidates, or like no one can do this as well as me, right? I can't delegate this. It has to be me that does it. And that said, every business owner under the sun thinks that for a little while at least, and some think about it for a long while. But that's probably the biggest thing, is that hiring is hard. And unless no school that I've ever come across ever taught people how to hire, and that's the biggest thing, right? It is hard. there's so many other kind of demands on our time as business owners. So I think that's the number one thing. The fact that it's hard and, we can kind of survive, or we can feel like we can survive without it, because we'll just keep doing all the things ourselves. But, it's not a way to grow, and it's not a way to free your time.
Yeah, that's true. Hiring is hard. Firing somebody I feel like it's easier than hiring somebody, because when you fire someone, you know what it takes to fire someone, right? Like if you don't like the person, if you don't like the quality of work, fire that person. But when it comes to hiring somebody, it's a big decision to make. It's like, because you don't want to waste your money and time, energy, effort, onto that person. And all of a sudden, after a week, you find out that that person is not the right fit for your business. So how do you know if somebody is the right fit for a business owner?
So the first thing is to take the right amount of time to hire them in the first place, right? So, the people, every now and again, I will see someone, a business owner will come to us and they'll post a job ad. And the world record that we've had at JobRack for time to fill a role was something like crazy, like 7 hours, right? And I got this email from this guy, and he's like, "Oh, this is amazing. I've filled the role." And I'm like, I'm sure he only just posted a job, like literally the same day. And then I got another email like 2 days later going, "Oh, they didn't work out." And I'm like, right, okay. And then literally, and I hadn't even had time to go back to him, I got another email the next day saying he'd hired again. And this was just a perfect example of people not taking the right amount of time to hire, right? You've got to be a kind of pretty thorough process. It starts with figuring out what you want and what you really need, then figuring out where do you go to look for them, and then making sure you filter and review and, do the right amount of kind of process to give you real confidence that you're getting the right person. And so it starts with that understanding. That's the most important thing that any business owner should do, is they've got to know what they want and what they need to make sure they're not looking for a unicorn for starters, right? That kind of mythical animal kind of thing that doesn't exist. A bit like the, $1,000 person that can run your entire business for you whilst being an SEO specialist and PPC and, maybe sweeping the floors at the same time. You just got to be realistic about what you can get, and you can get some incredible people that can do incredible things. But it starts with figuring out, what is it you really want? And then going through the process, giving it enough time, enough energy, enough effort to, get the results you need. And that should take time. If you're hiring in anything less than 1 to 2 weeks, you're probably doing it too quickly, assuming that, you're a business owner, you've got other things on your plate at that time. And this is why, Christy, this is why you and me, we have businesses, because we help people hire, right? Hiring is hard. There's lots of hard things in life as business owners that we look at, and we outsource a lot of them, right? Not many business owners are doing their own accounting or bookkeeping, right? Not many business owners maybe doing their own kind of paid ads or paid media, for instance, right? They outsource it. And hiring's no different, but a lot of people feel like they should be good at it despite not knowing how. So yeah, the main thing is give it enough time and have the understanding of what you need, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
That's true. Hiring is not an easy job. That's why human resources people, they studied psychology and human resources management, because they have to be able to discern if this person that they're interviewing is telling them the truth. Because when you ask someone, okay, do you have experience with social media management, SEO? They can say, yes, I've been doing SEO, social media management for 5 years, and I can do this, I can do that. But we just don't know that, maybe 10 minutes before the interview, they just Google that up and remember, everything that it entails to do social media management or SEO work. So yeah, I agree with you. Hiring is not easy. And also keeping that person, in your team and making sure that you are providing well for that person. Because you're not just, as an employer or as the business owner, if you hire someone, you're not just going to hire that person to have that person do the task for you and then pay them every month or every 15th or 30th of the month, twice a month. But it's also your responsibility to make sure that you take care of that person by making sure that that person is not overworked, by making sure that that person is mentally healthy and physically healthy to do the job that you want that person to do. And I feel like that's where we come in, because we don't only hire somebody, we also make sure that we nurture them. We make sure that they are being taken care of. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah,
I suppose you're doing that in your agency.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just be clear, hiring, we always talk about hiring is hard, and it is, but it's just the first step, right? Once you've hired them, you then got to keep them. And, especially when we talk about kind of Eastern Europe and hiring generally people in Eastern Europe are looking for stability. They're looking for long-term commitments, which is great because as business owners, that's what we want. But you've still got to play your part, right? You need to make them feel like team members. You've got to invest in them. So if you want the best from them, you've kind of got to invest in them. And that's where kind of, really just kind of making sure you're communicating clearly, spending time with your team, not treating people like, they're just here to do tasks. They're here to help you grow your business. And so, so hiring is just the first bit. Then you've got to kind of successfully keep them. And again, that's a big focus for us at JobRack is, finding the right people, selecting the right people, and then helping business owners to succeed, which is about leading and managing their team really, really well.
Right. Awesome. So how do you work as an agency? Do you work kind of like a headhunter, or do you work as like a provider, like a team? Like you work as a team, you have project managers who handles all your remote workers or your VAs, or do you just like hire someone for a business owner and then let the business owner, take care of the people that she or he hired?
Yeah, so our focus is on helping business owners hire long-term team members. Mm-hmm. So that could be part-time, that could be full-time. And so for us, our model is very much about helping them hire, right? So we feel that a lot of business owners, for certain key roles, they should be, whilst they might not legally be an employee because of the difficulties of employment law across countries, etc., they should feel like a team member. So we help people hire in a almost classical recruitment kind of company type way. Cool. And then we support them in that onboarding, but then we kind of stay out of the way. So we don't take ongoing commissions or anything like that. And that just works really well for us and the clients that we work with. And, there's all kinds of different models out there. And it just keeps us like really focused on getting them the people. And we find that works really well and works really well with that kind of Eastern European ethos of like long-term kind of, kind of stable kind of roles. So they want to work hard, do really well. And and then we just kind of add our own flair to it. We take a very kind of helpful and friendly approach to things, and we work kind of with our clients and our business owners just to kind of help them through that process. And then, they typically come back again and again, for more people as they kind of grow and expand their team.
Cool. And also, I just want to understand your business model, clearly. So when you hire somebody, do you also like train that person, or you make sure that person is already experienced in the area that you are hiring them for?
Yeah, so it's about experienced hires, and that level of experience can vary. So we will go out and, so if someone comes to us and says, hey, I want to hire an executive assistant or an operations manager or an SEO specialist, for instance, we're going to very, very clearly work with the business owner to understand what it is they want, what kind of level of experience, what technical skills, what kind of attitude and energy they need. And then we go out and find, the people with those skills. And then we do everything around filtering and reviewing and screening to make sure that this is the right person for them. And then we work with the business owner to kind of review them, test them. And then finally, the business owner will interview the candidates directly because it's their team member that they're looking to hire. So, it's important that they build that kind of relationship with the candidate at that stage. So, we're looking for people that have got the skills and experience to do the job. We often advise business owners on, training that they kind of ongoing training and development that they can do. It's for our model is much more about finding people that can do the job they need and then guiding them how to kind of develop them kind of to be even better.
Cool. That's good to know. I find that most business owners, they want to hire someone who is already experienced in, say, social media management. But then, when they hire that person, they don't want to provide ongoing training for that person, which is a need because especially in the digital space, every hour, every minute, I feel like something is going on, something is changing. And so I feel like most business owners, their expectations sometimes when it comes to like employing someone, they expect that person to just know everything, including their business, which is I don't think it's supposed to be. So have you had an experience like that?
We've had a few, and thankfully the way that I work and I jump on calls like, you know, an awful lot, like helping people out. And I build a relationship with business owners, almost business owner to business owner. So I can kind of almost like coach them and give them guidance on the challenges they're facing. And I always kind of set expectations up front that, hey, I'm going to be quite blunt. I'm going to be quite harsh about things. If I think there's something they're not doing right that's going to stop them being successful, I'm going to tell them.
Right.
So right up front, when we're talking about salary and benefits and package, things like that, training is absolutely one of the first things on the list, because the good people, right, the people you want to hire, the A players, right, they want to be developed and they want to be trained. And it's often not expensive. It often doesn't take a lot of time and effort. And it's just about you having that as a kind of a key motivation within your team. And that's what kind of, you know, is really, really important. So it's pretty rare these days that thankfully that we find business owners that aren't interested in that. And we kind of highlight that. They're generally not the kind of business owners that, you know, we'll typically work with, because we know that's going to stop them hiring the really good people, or they're going to hire someone who's then going to go, this business owner is not interested in me. They just want me to do tasks. I'm going to, you know, kind of, look for something. There's plenty of business owners out there that are interested in developing their skills. They don't need to work for one that's not.
Exactly. And, you know, they have, you know, business owners, they have to make sure that whoever they hire, that person needs to be involved, you know, in the team, and they need to know about the business, not just like a robot where you ask that person to do something like, hey, go to Google and research something about this stuff. I heard something. I heard this from someone. I forget his or her name, but that person said that if you're gonna hire like an employee, you know, in physical location, you know, you want to hire someone with experience as well. Like if you're hiring maybe a bartender, let's say a bartender, you want to hire someone who has experience in bartending, but that person is not gonna start, you know, on day one. When you hire that person, you still need to train that person and make that person, introduce that person to your team, to your business, and, you know, whatever you have in your business. And that's the same when you hire someone, you know, remotely. You hire that person, you should be able, or you're supposed to train that person. I mean, you know, not like an intense training, but, you know, kind of to help that person do his or her job successfully. So you have to set your VAs up for success by training them properly.
Yeah, and expectations is key, you know, so people can know how to do the tasks or the kind of work. So, you know, we're hiring experienced people, but it's then what's important to you, right? How do you like to work? We are all different, right? I have some very specific things, that the ways that I like my team to work with me, you know, and so I set really, really clear expectation about what's super, super important to me. It helps me be efficient, helps them be effective. And it's all about the communication. But yeah, so it's really important that, you know, everyone is aware when you're hiring someone up front, that first week or two, you've got to put some effort in, you know, just like you would in kind of an office if you were all together. And it's not, you know, some of it's about, you know, how to do the work, but a lot of it's about how to kind of, you know, be a kind of a really good team player within the company, meeting the team, working in the way you want them to, communicating really well. That's absolutely crucial.
Yeah, those things are very important. So let's talk about you as the CEO of JobRack. You know, since you are helping people, you know, employ remote workers to kind of save them time, energy, and stress, money, you know, and give them the freedom and flexibility that they are after. Are you able to apply that to yourself as the CEO? Do you consider yourself like a master delegator now, or sometimes do you struggle, you know, delegating to someone because you feel like, oh, I'm gonna delegate, but I feel like it's an easy task for me to do? I mean, do you have that battle in your mind?
So I'm getting a lot better. So I've delegated hugely over this last year and a half. So when I first, when JobRack first started with me, so I bought JobRack back in 2018, and I hired one person straight away. And then he was kind of helping me day to day, customer support, kind of VA, type, all kinds of different work. And then kind of fast forward, kind of like year and a half later, I really started hiring. Last year was that we tripled our team last year. We're up to 12 people now. And that is what's catapulted us forwards, right? Because it's like every business owner knows, you know, there's only so much you can do yourself. And so crucially, I am, getting dramatically better at delegating. So, I've got my own EA, obviously, executive assistant. I don't manage my own email inbox anymore, which that's something I thought I'd struggle to let go of. But again, it's just about having kind of clear communication and just improving it, every day. Kind of thing like, what should I do with this email? Then it gets added to the SOP, added to the list. It's the same with my operations manager, right? So I've got an amazing operations manager, Noemi. She runs all the client kind of interfacing, working with the clients, managing the team, managing the systems. And that, some of it was forced because, the business had grown significantly. You get to the stage where you cannot do everything. Right. So either quality and delivery suffers or you delegate, right? And so every day I'm looking and saying, what can I delegate? Every day my EA, he says, what can I take off your plate today? And so that forces a mindset to say, what can I delegate? What should I be doing? Right? As business owners, the absolute least you should be valuing your time at is a few $100s an hour, probably considerably more. So if there's things that someone can do for $5, $10, $15, $20, $25 an hour, they should be doing them and you should let them, and then you should get the headspace back. And it doesn't have to be for you to then work, right? It can be for you to spend time with the family, spend time with friends, go for a bike ride, whatever you like to do. It doesn't have to be work. So it's a continual journey, but I'm getting dramatically better. And this year is going to, go a lot further with that as well as we keep building the team out. Exactly.
And I love what you said there when you said, like for instance, if you're paying yourself $100, find somebody, $100 per hour, find somebody who can work on the task that you're gonna do, for less than maybe $5 or $10. Because if you do that thing, like let's just say podcast editing. If you do podcast editing for like say 2 to 3 hours, so how much is that already? $300, right? So you rob yourself of $300 just by doing that specific task that you could have delegated to somebody else. And I love what you said there about, when you delegated something, a task to somebody and you have like free time, that doesn't mean that you're gonna find another task to work on. You can spend that on your family or doing things that you love doing, because isn't that the goal of us business owner? We want a business, so that we can have flexibility, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to work for the rest of my life. I just want to be able to I'm not a morning person, so I don't wake up at 5 a.m. I wake up at 8 a.m. and enjoy my breakfast and not worry about the tasks that I'm going to have to do, just check in with my team members and do the things that I love doing, which is, strategically thinking about how I can grow my business even more. So, So what do you think is the best way to delegate?
So first of all, make a list of all the things you do, right? I like, there's an exercise that focuses on, you make this list and then you say, what can you eliminate? Just what doesn't need to be done anymore? What can you automate? What can you delegate? And if anything, whatever needs to stay on the list, can you simplify it, right? Or can you delegate part of it? And so first of all is making a list of what you spend your time doing. I started making a list months before I hired my own personal assistant. And just built up the list, and then that gives you confidence to say, I've got enough work and these things are worth delegating. Then think about what you really want, and then put the effort to communicate it really clearly. Okay, and if it's a bigger task or a project, then break it down and work with your assistant or your VA or whatever role it is, because this isn't just about kind of roles like kind of VAs. It could be an operations manager or a technical specialist. But break it down. Work with them to break it down if it's a bigger task. Make sure that they know that they can ask you questions, and then go from there, and then just give feedback, right? There'll be mistakes. It won't be perfect. It won't be as good as you would have done it. Maybe it might be better in time, but the key thing being is that you didn't do it, and it freed your time up. So that's the key thing. Just communicate really clearly, and just don't think that there's things you cannot delegate, because actually, everything can be delegated ultimately.
Yeah, even your dishes, you can delegate that. Even cooking, you can delegate that. Folding your clothes, So I love everything that you said. We are in alignment, when it comes to doing delegation effectively. So what can you say to entrepreneurs or business owners who are still doing everything alone in their business and still not delegating? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I know there are solopreneurs out there who doesn't want to scale. They just want to have 5-7 clients and they're content with that. I mean, nothing wrong with that. But how about those entrepreneurs who are ready to scale but their mindset about delegation is not where it is right now, where they can, delegate.
Yeah. So I think the first thing is, if you don't have an assistant, you are the assistant, right? That's the first thing. Okay. Second thing is, just think about what you want, right? What do you want from life? Are you going to get there if you keep doing everything yourself, right? And then thirdly, it would be just, kind of take inspiration from others that have done this, right? Whether Christy, whether myself, or any other kind of entrepreneurs, business owners that that have built teams, right up to, Elon Musk, Richard Branson, Bill Gates, whoever you want to look at. These people have got to where they are because they've had a team and they've delegated. Right? It's not as scary as it feels. And, I'm always happy to help out and jump on a call, for instance, and kind of chat through. But yeah, there's kind of just look for inspiration from people that have done it. And if they've done it, they can do it, you can too. But yeah, if you haven't got an assistant, you are the assistant. And pretty sure that none of the business owners and entrepreneurs listening to this podcast want to be a, $5, $10 an hour assistant. That's probably not high on their list of things that they'd aspire to.
Right, exactly. I love that. And I know that you are delegating already right now, but if you have more time on your hands, what would you do?
Spend time thinking. So focusing and thinking is a challenge for me. I'm a bit like the Duracell bunny. So like kind of always on the go, always doing tasks and working through. So that's a big thing. It's like everyone talks about having shower thoughts, right? But you switch off for an hour or two, you go for a walk, a bike ride. For me, I love snowboarding. So, I go snowboarding, and just that's when the ideas come, right? Because you're not kind of plugged into something else, an audiobook or a podcast or whatever it might be. So that's, just take more time out, to be honest. And then ironically, as much as that's time out of the business, often that helps the business.
Yeah. I love what you said there, thinking and focusing, because it may sound easy, to think and to focus, but when you do it, it's different. Like even right now, as we are, doing our podcast interview, yes, I am focused, but there's a part of my brain that is thinking about something else. Like, okay, it's about lunchtime now. What am I gonna eat after this interview? So thinking and focusing. Wow. I mean, I love that answer. I don't think I have had anybody, gave that, answer to me. So I love that, because it's not really easy. Even when you read a book, when you listen to a podcast episode, your mind is gonna go off of what you are doing. It's gonna think about something else. So yeah, I love that. And I think meditation is really important, which is, to help you think clearly and focus on the important things that you need to focus on. So do you have any resources you'd like to share with our audience before we end this interview?
Yeah, absolutely. So on delegation, I actually recently wrote a book all about digital delegation, about how to free your time and grow your business. Yeah, so it's available now. You can head to digitaldelegation.co or even just search Amazon for digital delegation. We've priced it really low because we want everyone to be able to get it. It's as low as we can. So I think it's 99 cents or 99 pence or 99 euro cents, depending where in the world you are.
You're like giving it away for free.
Basically, yeah. If I could do it for free, I would, but Amazon don't actually let you. So, very much it's not there to make money. It's just there to help people out. So digitaldelegation.co. And that again just steps you through exactly how to delegate, how to hire an assistant, and crucially why you should. So if you're in that space and you're thinking about whether or not you should, then check out Digital Delegation, and I think that'll help you out.
I will definitely check this out, because I know that I'm gonna, although I'm delegating already, but there are things I still don't know out there. There are different approaches, strategies, that are also working. And so I cannot just rely on what I already know right now. I need to continue and keep on growing. So where can people find you online?
Yeah, so nice and simple. Just head to jobrack.eu. And that's the main website. And you can get in touch with me there, and you can book in a call. So if you want some help hiring, always kind of happy to jump on a call, and we'll help you out from there. So yeah, head on over to jobrack.eu.
Yay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Noel. You have given a lot of value to my audience and to me as well personally. So thank you.
Hey, no worries, Christy. It's been great. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video and you want to listen to the full episode, please type in Master Delegator on Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast channels, or simply click the link in the description box below. Also, please subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you again on the next episode. Bye!